The couple joining me today from Kitchener are overcomers on many levels, and their story will encourage you. Paul and Darlene O'Brien, welcome back. And I am
Thank you, Moira.
embarrassed that I forgot that we did this 20 years ago.
At least.
Yeah.
We were both newlyweds.
That's
Yes.
right.
I'm sorry I don't have my
talking.
other here to balance this out. But that was in
Yes.
our studios in downtown Toronto.
Yes.
And you were beginning an excellent adventure.
Yes.
We were.
Yes.
I feel like I'd like to go back and see a clip of that.
Yeah, it's been quite a journey, Moira. And we have only God to thank for that, but it's been an adventure for sure. That's a good word to use.
Well, we have to start at a very difficult place. And you were just a 16-year-old
Yeah.
athletic guy, loved hockey,
Yes.
obviously swimming.
Yes, yes. Loved all those outdoor sports, all those activities that most normal 16-year-old guys love, you know. Baseball, hockey, football, anything outside, swimming, biking. Loved it, yeah.
In fact, on July 9th, 1973, you'd already been swimming all morning.
Yes, yeah, it was a beautiful sunny July day, a Monday morning, and I had spent the morning at the very place that later that afternoon I would go back to, and that's where my accident occurred.
It's so peculiar because this wasn't unfamiliar territory for you.
No.
What went wrong, Paul?
Yes, it was a place that we had swam many times, a place just outside of Brockville, Ontario, called Lynn Pit, a sand quarry. And we had swam there many times and enjoying the warm water. And we would run down this hill and get to the edge of the water where there was a little knoll. And the water was fairly shallow until you got about 3 or 4 feet out from the edge, and then the bottom just dropped off. So we would run down this hill, and the momentum would carry us out past the shallow water into the deeper water. And because I had been swimming there all morning and was on my way home and had come back, I was tired. But tired to a 16-year-old boy, we
Small
don't know.
potatoes.
We don't know the meaning of that word. Yeah, you're just. Yeah, you know, yeah.
So you didn't make the distance, that
Didn't
3 or
make
4
the distance,
feet.
yeah. When I kind of lost the push off of one leg, I stumbled a bit and went up and down and just hit the top of my head in the sand bottom, and it just kind of crushed my neck, and it crushed the 5th vertebrae.
Do you say it C56 or C56?
C5-6.
C5-6.
Yeah.
And
I
not
crushed C5, but the injury level is classified as a 5-6.
and not unlike Johnny Erickson's story.
Very, very similar.
You would have drowned if surely it was God's Spirit who had a friend
Yes.
receive an unusual thought.
Yes.
Because he didn't know you were in trouble.
No, at first, because as boys would do, earlier that afternoon we had been having a contest, see who could hold their breath underwater the longest.
Oh boy.
And so my friend Rick, when he saw me kind of floating face down in the water, thought, oh, there's O'Brien just horsing around, you know, and he didn't give it another thought. And he was on his way back into shore after diving in, just like I had done, only successfully. And he said to me later, he said, I was stopped with it was like a brick wall in front of me. And he said, I heard a voice saying, go around, turn around and go get Paul. Mm. And he did, thankfully. I'm thankful he was obedient to that voice.
Mm. You would spend a year in Kingston Hospital,
Yes.
year in the hospital.
Yes.
I don't know in your nursing path, Darlene, if you have acquaintance with that kind of life and the young people. I know I've been on the top floor of Sunnybrook and seen all these young, broken bodies on life support, lights on around the clock. It's
very difficult. I worked at Sunnybrook.
Oh, did you?
Yes, I did. I worked there, and so I worked particularly with quadriplegics and paraplegics in those days, and so the long staying patient is much different. It becomes home, I believe, and you become family as well, because you're together hours and hours together, yes. And watching young people be rehabilitated and what they go through. Now, I didn't know Paul at the time of his accident, but I did understand about particular parts of his life, particularly his hospital life, and what that's like.
Okay, you go back into the wings, because you're not here yet.
Yeah, that's right.
Not yet in the story.
Yeah.
Paul, you're a young man.
Yes.
You're paralyzed.
Yeah.
How did you embrace that? Did you embrace that?
Well, it was a whole journey, Moira. My dad's a pastor of an evangelical church all through my growing up years. And so when that happened to me, the congregation members of that church just rallied around me and had 24-hour prayer vigils, you know. And it was a wonderful time in a spiritual sense for that local congregation. And I received a lot of strength through the prayers that were sent up to Father on my behalf.
So what you're saying is their call to prayer for you
yes.
was transformational for the
Yes.
whole community.
Yes, and churches around our area would call and come and gather together for prayer meetings. It was amazing. Now, I was told all of this because I was laying in a bed in Kingston, an hour away from my home church in Brockville, but the reports would come to me about the wonderful things that God was doing. And I wasn't there, but I would hear the reports. But, you know, the strength I received during that time was phenomenal.